Yeah, that's good, yeah. Yeah, that's good, yeah.
Well, when you're done with those, you gotta pick them up and put them in the wheelbarrow.
Yeah, that's good, yeah, that's good, yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's good, yeah, that's good, yeah.
Dodged a bullet here. Camera and tripod left out all night. Sprinkling, which the camera's weather resistant. Well, I'm glad I found it now, not after heavier rain. Jeez. I've been spraying what I am pretty sure is Canada thistle. Sprayed a bunch of them a week ago or so with Roundup, and then that was pretty much gone. Bought another gallon of Ace brand weed killer. It has a newfangled little battery operated pump. Well, that was neat. But it's one of those things, Jesus, the more you see, the more you see. We're out here by the hundreds. Well, I'm exaggerating. There might be 100. But there again, at what size are they countable? It's unaccountable. Gonna have a fire the next rainy day. This has been accumulating for, well, all summer. I mean, all since last fall. We had our last fire. Oh man, there is so much to be burned. You're asking, why am I throwing away those chunks? Well, the one top and center is a chunk of very fibrous oak, which I've complained about to you before. I cut the top off that thinking I could split it down into usable chunks. Oh, no way. I've had my fill of that. All the chunks of wood there, I've given them a chance, and they have disappointed me. There. That is Canada thistle. More of them right there. And most everything there is Canada thistle. I've sprayed them. Thing is, these look a little different than there's one down on the hillside that I mowed yesterday. I saw it 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. Oh, cool. And well, I gotta show you. Pretty hard to miss that. Now the ones I've been spraying, I've left this one alone. I want to see what it does, because there's beautiful purple flowers on it midsummer, and by fall the butterflies congregate like crazy on it. what I've been spraying are these things. And I was assuming that these were the same as this. Well, a very distinctive difference in appearance. So I don't know. I'll find out. Interestingly, the thistles I sprayed last week, or a week ago, I went out and checked them every other day or so. And I went out there yesterday or the day before. Oh man, it's like they didn't show much evidence. The leaves were kind of curling a little bit, but didn't look like they were gonna die or like they were gonna die in a hurry. And all of a sudden, bam, they're dead. They're wilted, brown. Really nothing's left of them. Like they died and then rotted. That was with Roundup poison ivy killer. What is the difference? Roundup kills everything. So why did they make a version for poison ivy? Just make Roundup. Apply it to your poison ivy or your house plants if you want. It'll kill everything. I don't know. It's just marketing. Oh, it's for poison ivy. Well, that'll really kill them. That'll kill them extra. They take extra killing, you know. Been working on sectioning and hauling in the wheelbarrow the wood from the birch, the big birch that we cut last Wednesday or Tuesday of this past week. One fork of it is really, there's about a quarter of the heartwood right in the very center is good yet. But to get at it, you got to chop all the way around, get rid of that, and then split that chunk in the middle. It's not worth it. No, I got enough out of it. The rest is going to go in the fire. But the other fork that I've been working on now had some live new growth this year. So that wood is fairly good. It's a big job. It is. I like it though. I love it being out here, having Minnesota Public Radio on. We are just going through the process of George Floyd. Is a 56-year-old black male that was, well, he was ultimately he was killed by the police for committing forgery. The police got a call. There's a guy allegedly committing forgery. What does that mean? Apparently he was trying to pass off a counterfeit $20 bill to somebody. And the police arrived and he was handcuffed and he was put face down on the street, and a bystander with his cell phone took video of the cop. There were 4 cops, and one of the cops had his knee on the guy's neck. I can't breathe. And they killed him, or he killed him. Well, that was this past Monday, Memorial Day night, and there have been 3 nights of, or 2 or 3 nights of social rioting. I don't know why I'm calling it social rioting. Unrest, burning and looting neighborhoods throughout South Minneapolis, getting national attention, and holy crap. Birds chasing each other, a couple birds. And just this afternoon, around 1 o'clock, he was taken into custody. That police officer. All 4 of them were immediately fired the next morning. And now the protesters have been calling for arrests. And finally, the one cop that had his knee on the guy's neck has been taken into custody. What's the difference between taken into custody and arrested? Are the euphemisms or synonyms for the same thing? And now he's been charged with 3rd-degree murder and as another charge, manslaughter. They're still looking at evidence, and they are holding out the possibility of increasing that charge to second or maybe first-degree murder. I'm not sure. The Governor Walz has called in the National Guard to help establish some order. Apparently, according to the NPR reporter who was on the scene yesterday afternoon outside a Target store, it was a mob scene. And he said, this is utterly chaotic. And the police were way overwhelmed. They were just kind of standing, I guess, to the entrance of Target wearing their riot gear, but they could easily have been overrun. And I'm curious about Target. Was Target open? And in mid-afternoon, the rioters were trying to get in to loot? Well, they were. I don't understand. Apparently, the back door around the back of Target, the looters were going in and out at will, coming out with carts full of whatever they wanted. What a nightmare scene. What an absolute chaotic thing. And the governor finally called the National Guard out, and hopefully we'll get some, I don't know, how many of these protesters are just, they don't give a damn about any cause. It's just an opportunity to be thugs. You want to go for a walk on the new trail? Okay. So, yes, the lapel mic makes quite a difference. And here we go, folks. Here's the trail. This is an area that I had picked out to be sort of a sitting area. Well, I decided on that a week ago. Since then, a lot more foliage has leafed out. So, still a nice little place, but I'm going to clear out some of the leaves so I can see through. I can watch all the traffic on the driveway. Originally, if I follow the property line, I would have to go right through there. And I didn't like the looks of that. It's kind of a hill with a whole lot of debris, stumps and crap. And the next day or so I thought, well, wait a minute. I don't have to follow the property line. So let's go down and around this big popple and birch. Yeah. And I like it. It gives a little bit more character. Beautiful. big birch clump. Love it. Very healthy looking birches. By the way, I've got the camera on a monopod. Found a sexy little cell phone camera mount for a tripod, like $8, but it's made very well. This is the game trail that continues on through there. Pretty overgrown. We're going to go down to Otter Pond. Because I went down there earlier today and discovered a sweet little matter. Nope. There was a mama there. Come. Come on, come. Four little ones. Good deal. I'm not gonna linger. Don't want to keep her or him riled up. I want him to feel safe down here. One of the values to the monopod is it gives a little bit of weight, stability to the camera. You see guys at football games, NFL football games, walking around with a rig. This gives a little bit of stability just by its weight. Same idea that they're using. I've always been curious. See the popples up here are leafed out, and then there's these which are not fully leafed out yet. There's another one behind. Apparently it's a different species of popple. I've noticed this in years past, not here but other places, thinking for sure a giant popple at the beginning of the driveway at our family cabin must have been dead. No leafing out coming on like it at all. Came back in 3 or 4 weeks. Oh, all fully leafed out. I've been studying this tree after I discovered it the day before yesterday, I think. A perfect catch because it had green growth on it, meaning it was still sucking up moisture, at least enough of moisture to tell me that it wasn't rotting inside entirely like the last tree I took. It has some good solid wood in it. And it's nestled in I'm curious why I never saw it earlier. It was in there. Well, it is in there. The stump is. But it was kind of leaning in an undecipherable way. But the more I studied it, the more I thought, well, if I don't notch it, it's going to fall pretty much across the road, which is okay. It's not going to harm anything, but it's going to be tougher to get at the wood, section it up, than if it falls this way. Well, I kind of thought it over, kept thinking it over. Do I call Chuck over to have him do it with his wedges and his techniques? It really doesn't need it. But in the pursuit of caution, that's what I was thinking. But the more I looked at it, thought about it, now I can cut a wedge aiming right toward me. That pile of debris, I didn't care. It's all going to the landfill anyway, so what if the sink gets broken? So what if the old chest cooler gets broken? Well, it's broken anyway. Everything there, I didn't care. I don't need to move it out of the way. Just let the tree fall into it. And so I came out, cut a wedge. Well, I cut a bunch of brush around there. I didn't want to take any chances on getting hemmed in or tripping and falling when the damn tree starts to fall the wrong direction. So I got that all tidied up and notched this side of it. This is where we are, by the way. And there's the base. Saw my first toad a week ago. I've been waiting to see when I'd see one. I'm really surprised that I hadn't seen this dead-topped birch until just a couple days ago. Why it's dead, I don't know. The rest of them around in there are, well, these two on the end are, I've been watching those for at least a year. And they still have enough leaf on them that they're providing a little bit of shade when we get to mid-afternoon. Shade is very prized product when I'm splitting wood in the afternoon on a summer day. So, cool. I was going to bring the wheelbarrow down here and realize now it's 3/4 full of wood. Needs to be stacked. Alright, well I'll just carry 4 pieces up, split them up, finish filling the wheelbarrow, empty it, stack it, the wood, not the wheelbarrow. Then bring the wheelbarrow down and get a full load. I'm curious how much of this is still good. By experience from the ones we did in the last week, there should be a good amount of wood in there. Even the woodpecker holes, that's what those are, by the way. Isn't that fascinating? Even the woodpecker holes don't seem to affect the quality of the wood inside. So, this is very good, very good. Glad to have that off my plate.
Claiming that they want this to end. If they wanted it to end, then they would push for those charges until those guys are arrested, and they would lay out the systemic reforms that they plan to do.
It's about all Minnesota Public Radio and, well, not the national media, but the national media has been talking about this, but not nonstop. This is a big deal here in Minnesota, the George Floyd neck-kneeling murder by the police. Holy shit. This has been going on now. We had our 4th night last night of lockdown or a curfew, and out of state, out of town protesters coming in. They're talking about it's sort of a mob, not mentality, but organized crime has sent in people from out of state to rile things up. So I'm going to turn it back on as soon as I turn you off.
In Central Park, Trump's examination of the Becky, the Patty, and especially the Karen memes, signifying white women who feel entitled to call the cops on people guilty of living while black.
We are still grappling with the same racism that we were dealing with under Jim Crow era segregation, and that's central to these memes.
Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms told CBS's Face the Nation that the president is making the situation worse.
We are beyond a tipping point in this country, and his rhetoric only inflames that, and he should just sometimes stop talking.
Bottoms also said she had no faith in the Department of Justice.